Listen to me. I need you to hear me. Really hear me, because this might be the most important message you'll ever receive. For too long, you've been living by someone else's rules, walking a path someone else paved, making decisions based on what they think is best for you. And while you're doing all that, while you're trying to meet their expectations, you're losing yourself. You're losing time. You're losing your own damn life. That ends today. You were not born to be controlled. You were not born to be molded into someone else's vision. You were born with purpose, with power, and with a destiny that belongs to you. And today we take that back. Here's how. If you want to be in control of your life, you have to own everything, every decision, every mistake, every triumph, every setback. It all belongs to you. The moment you start blaming others for where you are is the moment you give away your power. Nobody forced you to stay stuck. Nobody held you back but you. And nobody, not a single person, is coming to rescue you. You see, life doesn't hand out excuses. Life doesn't care about what held you back, what wasn't fair, or who did you wrong. Life responds to those who take responsibility. The moment you stop pointing fingers and start owning your choices, that's the moment everything changes. That's the moment you put your hands on the wheel and take control. Some of you are waiting for a lucky break, waiting for someone to see your potential, waiting for the right moment. But let me tell you something, waiting is a decision. It's a decision to stay right where you are. It's a decision to let life happen to you instead of making life happen for you. And if you wait too long, you'll look back one day and realize that all you ever did was wait. Understand this. Nobody owes you anything. Not the world, not your parents, not your friends. If you want something, you have to go get it. You have to fight for it. You have to demand more from yourself than anyone else ever could. Because at the end of the day, the only person responsible for your future is the one staring back at you in the mirror. Yes, you will fail. You will make mistakes. You will fall on your face, but that's part of the deal. Own it. Own the missteps. Own the pain. Own the lessons. Because failure isn't what defines you. It's what you do after failure that does. Do you let it break you? Do you let it convince you that you weren't good enough? Or do you stand back up, look life in the eye and say, is that all you got? See, too many people spend their lives playing defense. They react, they adjust, they compromise. But when you own your life, you stop reacting and you start creating. You stop waiting and you start moving. You stop hoping and you start doing. That's the difference between people who dream and people who achieve. One waits for permission, the other takes responsibility. So I ask you today, are you ready to take ownership? Are you ready to stop blaming, stop making excuses, stop waiting for someone else to fix your life? Because if you are, then understand this. Your life, your success, your destiny is in your hands. Nobody else's. The only question left is, what are you going to do about it? Why are you waiting? Why are you looking around, searching for someone to nod their head, give you a pat on the back, tell you, yes, you're allowed to go after what you want? You think greatness comes with permission? It doesn't. It comes with courage. It comes with conviction. It comes the moment you decide deep in your soul that you don't need anyone else's approval to become who you were meant to be. Too many people are trapped in a cage built by opinions, shackled by the fear of rejection, paralyzed by the idea that they might disappoint somebody. But let me ask you, what's worse, disappointing others or disappointing yourself? Waking up every day knowing you're playing small, knowing you're shrinking yourself to fit into someone else's idea of what you should be, that's no way to live. That's slow death. You weren't born to blend in. You weren't put on this earth to be a background character in someone else's story. You have something inside you, something real, something powerful, something that the world needs. But as long as you keep looking around, seeking permission, waiting for the green light, you will never step into your purpose. Because here's the truth, most people won't give you that approval, not because they don't believe in you, but because they don't believe in themselves. your ambition, your fire, your willingness to break free. It scares them. It reminds them of what they're not doing. But that's not your problem. Your job is not to make others comfortable. Your job is to rise, to step boldly into your calling, even if it makes others uncomfortable. Even if it makes you uncomfortable. Growth is uncomfortable. Chasing your dreams is uncomfortable. But so is regret. And regret is far heavier than fear. So what if they don't approve? So what if they don't understand? That's not your burden to carry. Because the truth is, the people who truly love you, the ones who are meant to be in your life, will support you even if they don't fully get it. And the ones who can't, the ones who try to hold you back, make you doubt yourself, keep you small, they were never meant to walk this path with you in the first place. This is your life, your dream, your destiny. Stop handing over the keys to your future to people who don't have to live with the consequences. The only approval you need is your own. The only permission you need is the one you give yourself. So decide today, right now. No more waiting, no more seeking, no more asking. Be bold enough to trust yourself. Be strong enough to walk alone if you have to. Be fearless enough to step into the greatness that's already inside you. The world isn't waiting for you to be ready. It's waiting for you to be brave. Everybody's got an opinion about how your life should go. They've got a roadmap, a checklist, a timeline, laid out nice and neat, like they've got it all figured out. Go to school, get a job, buy a house, retire. That's the script they hand you, and they expect you to follow it. No questions, no detours, no rewrites. But let me ask you, who wrote that script? Who decided that was the only way? More importantly, does that path even feel right for you? Because here's the truth. If you don't define success for yourself, the world will do it for you. And the world's definition? It's built on expectation, not purpose. It's built on tradition, not passion. And if you let it, it will box you in, keep you small, make you chase something that was never meant for you in the first place. You've got to be bold enough to ask yourself, what do I really want? Not what my parents want, not what society says is acceptable, not what looks good on paper. What do I want? Because when you answer that question, when you really sit with it, when you dig deep, you start to realize something powerful. Success isn't a destination. It's not a number in your bank account. It's not a title, a degree, a fancy car parked in your driveway. It's waking up every morning with purpose in your heart. It's living a life that feels true to you, no matter what anybody else thinks. And let me tell you something. When you start walking in your definition of success, people won't always understand it. They might question you. They might doubt you, they might even try to stop you. Not because they don't believe in you, but because they can't see what you see. They're looking at life through their own lens, through their own fears, their own limitations. But their vision has nothing to do with your destiny. So you have to be unwavering, you have to stand firm. When they tell you that's not how it's done, you say, watch me. When they tell you that's not realistic, you say, maybe not for you. When they tell you that's not success, you smile because you know better. You know that success isn't about fitting into somebody else's mold. It's about breaking the mold and shaping your own. There is no one-size-fits-all version of success. There is only the path you choose, the standard you set, the vision you hold for your own life. So define it, own it, protect it. Because the second you do, the second you stop living for approval and start living for truth, that's when you become unstoppable. No more chasing somebody else's dream. No more following a script that was never written for you. Define it, claim it, and don't let anybody talk you out of it. There are people in this world who will try to control you without you even realizing it. They'll pull the strings so subtly, so carefully, that you won't notice until one day you wake up and wonder why your life doesn't feel like your own. They'll use guilt to make you question yourself. After everything I've done for you, how could you? They'll use fear to keep you in place. What if you fail? What if you embarrass yourself? And the hardest one of all, they'll use love. They'll make you believe that choosing yourself means betraying them. But listen to me. Real love does not come with conditions. Real love does not ask you to shrink. Real love does not keep you in a box so that someone else can feel comfortable. Anyone who truly loves you will want to see you rise, not keep you tethered to a version of yourself that makes them feel safe. So you have to recognize the tactics. You have to see it for what it is, because manipulation doesn't always look like control. Sometimes it looks like concern. I just want what's best for you, but what they really mean is, I want what makes sense to me. It looks like protection. I don't want to see you get hurt, but what they really mean is, I don't want you to outgrow the space I've put you in. And sometimes it even looks like love. I need you. But what they really mean is, I need you to stay the way you are so I don't have to change. And that's not love. That's fear. That's control. And if you're not careful, you will spend your whole life dancing to somebody else's tune, moving when they say move, stopping when they say stop. But you are not a puppet. You were not put on this earth to live under somebody else's command. So cut the strings. Let them go. And I know that's easier said than done. I know some of those strings are tied deep, wrapped around people you care about. But if someone truly loves you, they will not crumble when you step into your power. If someone truly wants the best for you, they will celebrate your growth, not resist it. And if they don't? If they make you feel guilty for choosing yourself, if they punish you for daring to be more than what they expected, that is your answer. That is your sign. You don't owe anyone a smaller version of yourself just to make them feel comfortable. You don't owe anyone your potential, your dreams, your happiness. What you do owe, what you must give, is the fullest, most powerful, most authentic version of you. So break free, live your life, and never, ever let someone else pull the strings. Too many people are exhausted, drained, stretched thin. Not because they don't have potential, not because they lack ambition, but because they keep saying yes when they should be saying no. They keep giving away their time, their energy, their focus like they have an unlimited supply. But let me tell you something. Your time is precious. Your energy is sacred. Your focus is the key to your destiny. And every time you say yes to something that doesn't serve you, that doesn't align with your vision, that doesn't push you forward, you are saying no to yourself. You can't be everything to everyone. You can't carry the weight of everybody else's expectations, everybody else's problems, everybody else's dreams, and still have room for your own. And yet, so many people try. They feel guilty for turning people down. They feel selfish for prioritizing themselves. They're afraid of disappointing others. But let me ask you, what about you? What about your purpose? What about your goals? What about the life you are trying to build? Because if you don't protect it, if you don't guard it, if you don't fight for it, no one else will. Saying no is not weakness. It is power. It is standing firm in who you are. It is refusing to be pulled in every direction by people who don't have to live with the consequence. Because the truth is, there will always be someone who wants something from you. There will always be someone who expects you to bend, to sacrifice, to put them first. And if you're not careful, you will spend your whole life pleasing everybody but yourself. So you have to make a choice. You have to decide right here, right now, that your destiny matters more than their approval, that your goals matter more than their comfort, that your peace, your joy, your future, those things are not up for negotiation. You don't have to explain yourself. You don't have to justify your decisions. No is a complete sentence. And I know some people won't like it. Some will push back. Some will try to make you feel guilty, try to manipulate you, try to convince you that saying no makes you selfish. But hear me when I say this. People who truly care about you will respect your boundaries. People who genuinely want the best for you will understand. And those who don't, those who get angry, those who make you feel like you owe them something, they were never rooting for you in the first place. You have a purpose. You have a calling. You have a life that is yours and yours alone to live. So guard it, protect it. Stop giving away pieces of yourself just to keep everybody else happy. Say no when you need to. Say it without hesitation. Say it without guilt. because your destiny depends on it. Fear is a master of deception. It whispers in your ear, making you question yourself before you even take the first step. It tells you you're not ready, not smart enough, not talented enough. It fills your mind with doubt, convincing you that failure is just around the corner. And if you listen, if you let fear sit in the driver's seat, it will keep you trapped in the same place for the rest of your life. How many dreams have been buried because someone was too afraid to take a chance? How many opportunities have been wasted because someone let fear decide for them? Let me tell you something. Fear is not real. Danger is real, yes. Risk is real. But fear? Fear is a story your mind tells you to keep you from stepping into the unknown. It's a prison made of illusions. And the only way to break free is to stop believing the lies. Courage is not the absence of fear. It's not about waiting until you feel brave enough, strong enough, certain enough. Courage is moving forward in spite of fear. It's taking action even when your hands are shaking, even when your heart is pounding, even when every voice in your head is screaming for you to turn back. You think the greats weren't afraid? You think the people who changed history, who built empires, who made their mark on the world, weren't scared? They were. But the difference is, they didn't let fear stop them. They felt it, acknowledged it, and kept moving anyway. They understood something most people never do. Fear only has power when you give it power. So the next time fear shows up, and it will, don't run from it, don't hide. Look it in the eye and say, I hear you, but you don't control me. Because fear is predictable. It will always show up when you're about to step into something bigger. It will always try to hold you back when you're on the edge of growth. That means when fear comes knocking, it's not a sign to retreat, it's a sign you're heading in the right direction. The choice is yours. You can let fear make your decisions for you, or you can make them for yourself. You can let it keep you stuck, or you can take control. But hear me when I say this. If you keep waiting for the fear to disappear before you take action, you will wait your whole life. So move, step forward, do it scared, because fear will always be there, but it does not get a say in your destiny. That's up to you. Look around you. Look at the people you spend the most time with, the voices you hear every day, the energy that surrounds you. Because whether you realize it or not, that circle is shaping your future. That circle is influencing your thoughts, your mindset, your habits. And the question you have to ask yourself is, are they pushing you forward or pulling you back? Some people in your life will challenge you, inspire you, and push you to rise to a higher level. They won't let you settle. They won't let you make excuses. They'll see the greatness in you, even when you don't see it in yourself. Those are the people you need to hold on to. But then there are the others, the ones who are comfortable with you staying the same. The ones who don't want to see you grow, because if you do, it forces them to look in the mirror. The ones who laugh at your dreams, who tell you to be realistic, who make you feel foolish for wanting more. Understand this, some people don't want to see you win, not because they hate you, but because your success reminds them of their own inaction. It makes them uncomfortable. And instead of leveling up themselves, they'd rather keep you at their level. You have to make a choice. You have to decide that your future is worth more than their approval, that your destiny is too important to be surrounded by people who don't believe in it, because you cannot afford to keep company that drains you, doubts you, or keeps you small. You become like the people you spend the most time with, so choose wisely. If you want to be great, surround yourself with greatness. If you want to be disciplined, surround yourself with people who are committed. If you want to succeed, be around those who refuse to settle for mediocrity. And don't be afraid to walk away from anything or anyone that is not serving your growth. That's not disloyalty, that's wisdom. Some people won't understand your journey. Some won't like the new version of you. That's okay. Not everyone is meant to go where you're going. But the ones who truly belong in your life, they will rise with you. They will celebrate your wins. They will challenge you when you need it, support you when you doubt yourself, and remind you of your potential when fear tries to make you forget. So take a good, hard look at your circle. Are these the people who are going to help you build the future you want? Or are they holding you back from it? Because your circle will either be the wind beneath your wings or the weight around your ankles. And the choice, my friend, is yours. There's a voice inside you, a knowing, a pull in a certain direction. And every time you ignore it, every time you push it aside, every time you let the noise of the world drown it out, you move further away from where you're meant to be. You see, deep down, you already know what's right for you. You know when a situation doesn't feel right. You know when an opportunity isn't meant for you. You know when a person's energy doesn't sit well with your spirit. But too often, you doubt yourself. You hesitate. You let other people's opinions override your own instincts. You let fear, logic, or pressure talk you out of what you already know to be true. And why? Because the world shouts louder. Because people tell you what you should do, who you should be, what the right path looks like. They'll give you advice based on their own fears, their own experiences, their own limitations. But let me tell you something. No one else can hear your inner voice but you. No one else has that direct line to your purpose but you. And if you keep ignoring it, you're going to wake up one day living a life that doesn't even feel like yours. Your instincts are there for a reason. They are your internal compass. They are the whispers of your soul guiding you toward your purpose, toward the right people, toward the right decisions. And the more you trust them, the stronger they get. The more you follow them, the clearer your path becomes. But let's be real, trusting yourself isn't always easy. Sometimes your instincts will tell you to take a leap when the world says, play it safe. Sometimes they'll tell you to walk away when everyone else is telling you to stay. Sometimes they'll push you in a direction that makes no sense to anyone but you. And in those moments, you will be tempted to doubt yourself. You will be tempted to ask for permission, to look for validation, to wait for someone else to confirm what you already know. Don't do it. Don't wait for approval. Don't wait for the world to catch up to what your soul already understands. Your instincts will never lead you astray, but the world will. Fear will. Other people's expectations will. But that deep, undeniable knowing inside you, that's yours. That's your truth. That's your guide. So trust it. Follow it. Even when it doesn't make sense to anyone else. Even when it requires you to take a risk. Because that voice inside you, it's not random. It's not a mistake. It's leading you to where you're meant to be. You say you want change. You say you want success, growth, a better life. You talk about it, you dream about it, you plan for it. But let me ask you something. What are you actually doing about it? Because thinking about change isn't enough. Wanting it isn't enough. You have to move. You have to do something. Too many people are waiting for the perfect moment, waiting until they feel ready, waiting for someone to give them permission. But let me tell you the truth. There is no perfect moment. You will never feel fully ready. And if you keep waiting, life will pass you by while you sit on the sidelines, watching other people live out the dreams you were too afraid to chase. Action is the difference. It's what separates those who make things happen from those who just wish for them. Because wishing won't get you anywhere. You can sit around all day thinking about your goals, visualizing your future, talking about what you could do, but until you take that first step, until you get up and move, nothing changes. And let me be clear, that first step doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be big, it just has to happen. Too many people get stuck in their heads, overthinking, overanalyzing, convincing themselves they need more time, more information, more confidence. But that's just fear talking. That's just an excuse to stay in your comfort zone. And if you let fear run the show, you'll wake up years from now, still in the same place, still making the same excuses. The time is now, not tomorrow, not next week, not when you feel ready, now. Because time doesn't wait. Life doesn't pause for you to make up your mind. Every day you hesitate is a day you never get back. And the truth is, you don't know how much time you have left. That's not meant to scare you. That's meant to wake you up. Stop waiting. Stop doubting. Stop hesitating. Take the step. Make the call, start the project, say yes to the opportunity. Take a risk on yourself, because the only way to fail is to not try. The only way to guarantee you'll never reach your potential is to do nothing at all. You have greatness inside you. You have gifts the world needs. But those gifts mean nothing if you never use them. So don't let fear steal your future. Don't let procrastination rob you of your destiny. Take action, move forward, even if it's small, even if it's scary, even if you don't have it all figured out, because once you start, momentum will carry you forward. But it all begins with a decision, a choice right now. So what are you going to do? Sit back and wait, or step up and move? The future belongs to those who act, which means the future belongs to you. Not everyone is going to like the person you're becoming. Not everyone is going to celebrate your growth. Some people are going to whisper. Some are going to doubt you. Some are going to look you in the eyes and tell you that you've changed. Like, that's a bad thing. And you know what? Good. You should change. You should grow. You should be evolving, becoming stronger, wiser, more focused. Because life isn't about staying the same. Life isn't about making everybody else comfortable while you shrink yourself. It's about stepping into who you were meant to be. But here's what happens. When you start walking in your purpose, when you start making moves, when you start carrying yourself differently, some people won't know what to do with you. Because the version of you that they were comfortable with, that version is gone. The version that played small, that said yes when you wanted to say no, that stayed quiet when you should have spoken up, that version is no more. And instead of being happy for you, instead of supporting you, some people will try to pull you back. They'll question your choices. They'll make you second guess yourself. They'll try to make you feel guilty for doing what's right for you. But listen to me. You do not owe them your silence. You do not owe them your obedience. You do not owe them a version of yourself that fits inside their comfort zone. You owe yourself the life you were born to live. You owe yourself the dreams that keep you up at night. You owe yourself the kind of success that isn't measured by anyone else's approval, but by the fire in your soul that says, I am doing what I was put on this earth to do. Because here's the truth. If you live for their approval, you will die by their rejection. You will spend your entire life twisting yourself into a version of you that pleases them, but suffocates you. And in the end, those same people you tried to please, they'll move on, they'll forget, and you'll be left with regret, wondering what could have been if only you had been bold enough to walk in your purpose without apology. So let them talk, let them misunderstand you, let them say you've changed, because you have, you've grown, you've stepped into your power. And that's not something to be ashamed of. That's something to own. Walk in your purpose, stand tall in it, and don't you dare shrink to make others comfortable. You weren't put here to play small. You weren't put here to live under the weight of other people's expectations. You were put here to shine. So shine, and let the ones who can't handle it step back into the shadows where they belong. Your destiny is yours, not your parents', not your friends', not society's, ours. And if you don't take control of it, somebody else will. That's not a maybe, that's a fact. So right here, right now, make the decision, take back your power, step into your greatness.